Good morning, everyone. This will be my first live directly from YouTube. Um, and it is Monday, March 28th, 2022, and it is 8:03 a.m. And thank you for joining me for coffee time with a message. And so today's message is basically around happiness, how to make yourself happy. And so let's start by talking about the fact that we need to understand what happiness means to us first. So we need to define it for ourselves. And everybody may define it differently. So, what the traditional definition of happiness is a state of well being and contentment, a pleasurable or satisfying experience, and a striking happiness of expression, good fortune, prosperity, etc. Um, Synonyms for happiness is blessed, blissful, glad, joy, warm and fuzzy. Anyway, so that's example, but that's the first step is we need to define what happiness is for ourselves. And why am I talking about happiness today? Well, because happiness begins with the decision to no longer feel sad. Unfortunately, if you're not in a happy or content mood, then you could struggle with depression, sadness, anxiety, frustration, overwhelmingness. And so, all of my coffee time with message is about starting your week off correctly. And it's Monday, this is a new week. So, this week, the focus will be in a challenge and a theme is around happiness. Unfortunately, I have to talk to you, some of you out there who are um, known as people pleasers. You make everybody else happy, but not yourself. Now, there is a nice balance, right? So it's okay to do things for others, and that can bring you joy and happiness. But my concern is when you do, people pleasers usually make everybody else happy to the detriment of themselves. So self-sacrificing. Sorry, I needed a sip of coffee. Um, so if you're a people pleaser, that will lead you to unhappiness, and why? Because again, you care about other people's judgment, you care about people's opinions of you, you care about being compassionate and generous to others, um, and you sacrifice the things you want or even need because sometimes it's not it's not even things we want, it's things we need that we should be working towards getting. Um, and and the other thing is that when if you're a people pleaser versus someone who just gives things to others, there's a difference because people pleasing starts from a place of insecurity, low self esteem, a sense of lacking about themselves, um, self judgment, self criticism constantly. And so what happens is that that's where you start. You give to others so then you can raise your self esteem and boost your security about yourself. But it only lasts temporary, it doesn't stay forever. The feeling of joy or feeling good about yourself, if you're a people pleaser, because you're not doing it for the right intentions, you end up feeling okay for a little while and then you feel bad again about yourself. But if you give from a place of you really love giving and you love seeing people happy, that's different. That comes from a place of selflessness, a place um, uh, healing, and a place of good faith. And so people like that actually and do take care of themselves, which is why they can give to others. So be careful which one do you fall into. Um, Again, it's about balance, and it's really about you making sure that you take care of yourself first, so then you can take care of others. Now, then there is the wise selfish person versus the foolish selfish person. Now, people will say, I say you got to take care of yourself first. And a lot of people are not taught that way, especially in our families. We are taught that we need to take care of our responsibilities and our family and our kids and our partners. And the reality is that they believe that when you don't take care of everybody else and you only focus on you, then you're being selfish. There is a thin line. Um, Again, people pleasing is about sacrificing yourself for everybody else's desires, needs, and wants. Being selfish is you sacrificing other people for your desire, needs, and wants. And so both are not good. So you have to be a wise, selfish person, meaning you have to know when you need to fill your cup and pour back into yourself. You have to know um, when you have to take care of your own needs. And so the Dalai Lama said, being wise selfish means taking a broader view and recognizing that our own long term individual interest lies in the welfare of everyone. Being wise selfish means being compassionate. So taking care of your own needs first, then taking care of everybody else's needs. And the truth is that you will be better at taking care of other people if you are taking care of yourself. You will be actually better at your job. You'll be better in relationships because your needs are being met. And whose responsibility is for our happiness? We individually are responsible for our own happiness. Nobody else is responsible for that. People can contribute to your happiness or they can take away. Absolutely. They do have an impact on your happiness, but it is not their responsibility to make you happy. And I think that that's really important to understand. Now, why are people not happy? Well, some people are struggling with depression, or like I said, the family pressures of self-sacrificing and taking care of everybody else. It's hard to unlearn that behavior. Some of it is surrounding about habits, and you will hear me talk about habits in a couple of weeks. But there's 12 specific reasons why a person may not be as happy as they should. Now, there's many reasons, but these are the top 12. One, hanging around negative people because it is like a plague. You hang around negative people too much, then it actually will rub off on you, which is not good. Two, comparing your own life to the lives people portray on social media. That is a huge issue. And everything is not what it seems. Sometimes we think um, what we see is, oh, they're happy. And I've seen a lot of videos where that's not what's really going on, what's in the videos. People pose and pretend sometimes for social media. Um, Three, immunity to awe, meaning amazing things happen around you every day, but you don't look at those things. You constantly are looking at the downside of things and the negative things, and you become immune to awe, immune to the nice stuff, and just only focus on the negative. Number four, isolating yourself can also make you unhappy. Um, Five, blaming yourself for things that's happened in your life that actually some of it is not even in your control. Number six, controlling. It's hard to be happy without feeling in control of your life. But remember, there are things you can control and there are things you cannot control. So make sure that you focus on the things you can control and design a plan for that and handle those things. The things you can't control, you just have to create strategies to make yourself feel okay while you're going through that. Because some things in our lives rely on other people. Um, and so, for instance, work at a job, unless it's your own business, you don't have control over a lot of things. You only have control over the work that you're responsible for. But the organization as a whole, um, whether you keep a job or not, you have you can contribute to it, but you don't have control totally over it. So remember that. Number seven, complaining is also another reason people are unhappy. If you get in a habit of complaining and complaining and complaining all the time instead of doing something about it, so the way I look at it is if you have something to complain about, that means that there's a problem. So if there's a problem, then you should tap into your problem solving strategies. So because for problems, there are solutions. But if not, then it's just complaining becomes just endless words and a cesspool of negativity that you have to pull yourself out of. So be careful. Number eight, impressing. So impressing people, you know, focusing on impressing people can have you broke and living beyond your means because you're trying to look nice, live with a nice car. So people will buy a BMW or Mercedes, but really can't afford that because truthfully, you shouldn't buy a vehicle um, that expensive unless you could afford to get the oil changes and maintenance. Because if not, you'll be spending money every month paying the car, but you won't be able to take care of it, which is really bad. So, um, so impressing somebody will cause you to be unhappy. Number nine, negativity. So being around negative things, um, like other people that are pessimistic, they are always complaining. Um, and feeding your mind with negative things like watching negative podcasts or following YouTube channels or TikToks um, pages that are negative constantly will feed you negative thoughts, pessimistic thoughts. So try not to do that. Number 10, neglecting to set goals. So just getting up and say, "Oh, I got to do some things today," but not making a plan for yourself can also lead you to be unhappy because you can forget. If you're overwhelmed and stressed, you can forget the priority things, the things you definitely have to get done in the day, and then you get frustrated and be miserable and say, "I didn't get that done. I didn't pay a bill." So always have goals. Neglecting your goals is never good. 11 is so basically living in fear is also will make you unhappy. So basically, instead of living in fear, because that's from the emotional side of your brain, try to think logically about the thing that's bothering you or making you anxious or worried, and really create um, a logical thought process where, I mean, there are things truthfully that will make you feel fear and anxiety, but and that will cause you not to take risks or stay in your comfort zone and not you know, take advantage of an opportunity given to you. So make sure that you think from the logical side of your brain. What evidence do you have that the fear is real? Because it could be what's called a false alarm. Number 12, leaving the present um, can also bring you unhappiness. What does that mean? Well, living in the past causes you depression and sadness. Living in the future can cause you anxiety and and continuous worrying about what's going to happen. So instead, you got to leave the leave the present, live in the present, accept your past and make peace with it, accept the uncertainty of the future and don't place unnecessary expectations upon yourself. Anytime you're creating an expectation or goal for yourself, make sure that it's realistic and achievable, basically. So now I'm going to go over 11 quick, simple ways to make yourself happy every day. Um, so, one, commit to doing one nice thing for yourself every day, just one nice thing. It could be buying your favorite coffee, it could be um, applying for your dream job. One nice thing for your day. It could be small, it could be big. Something that shows loving kindness to you. Number two, listen to yourself. So listen how you talk to yourself, that internal tone of voice you use, and be kind to yourself. Talk loving words to yourself instead of negativity. Three, forgive yourself. Forgiveness is really important because we all make mistakes. And you can't stay angry and mad at yourself or beat yourself up continuously. Love yourself. That way, you are accepting that you're stuck in your own imperfect skin and it is okay. So, look in the mirror and say, I love you and I forgive you. All right. Four, accept yourself as you are right now. So, what it means is accept the body you have, accept the job you have, accept the house you have, accept the relationship you're in, accept the things that accept you, yourself, and where you are right now, because that will bring you a success and a happiness, because you will, be content with where you're at. If you want to reach other goals, if you want to work on your relationship, if you want to make more money, those are goals that you can set for yourself and then you work towards it. But first, accept yourself. Number five, eliminate toxic people in your life and workplace. Avoid tying yourself to clients, business, partners, investments, employees, friendships, um, and places that are not healthy for you. Six, prioritize your health. So, like, take supplements and vitamins, exercise. It says cut out sugar. I don't know if you could cut out sugar completely, but you know, be careful. Don't let caring for your health turn you into a reason to beat yourself up again. So prioritize your health, but don't be so self critical and self judgmental. Seven, stop skipping meals. You have to take care of yourself. You know, you have to take a moment and actually eat. Neuroscience tells us that letting your blood sugar sink sends stress signals to your brain. So be careful not to have food. Not to take a break. Like, it does not count if you're at work and you're eating lunch while working. That does not count. Number eight, breathe. Don't forget that when you're feeling stressed, overworked, or upset, simple breathing exercises can up your happiness. Number nine, give yourself a welcoming space. So, whether you have an office or a cubicle at work, set your space up for your comfort so you can feel like it is you. It represents you and it makes you happy. For instance, coffee makes me happy. So, wherever I'm at, if I have a cup of coffee, I'm good. Number 10, get some sunlight. I mentioned in last night's live that you should at least have sun for at least 15 minutes per day, and that really helps with mood. So try to take a walk during work hours, or if you're an at-home mom, take a walk with the kids. Get sun, even if it's cold out where you're at. Still get sun. And the last tip, number 11, buy premium products for yourself. A lot of times we're very self-sacrificing, so we'll get like the best bag of coffee for our mother or aunt or husband or partner, and it's nice. We get them the name brand, and then we buy for ourselves the cheap and expensive option. But don't do that. Buy premium products, the things you really want. That way you will enjoy it better. And so this week's challenge is to try to follow those simple rules, those simple tips to make yourself happy. At least try three of them every day. That's going to be the challenge for you this week. And again, happiness is your responsibility for your own self. And to end, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. So remember, take care of yourself and try to have an awesome week. And I will see you next week for our next coffee time with a message. Bye, everyone.